Hey everyone, welcome to the Adventure Touring Comparison. We've got two bikes this year, our defending champion from 2012, the BMW R1200 GS, and the all-new bike for this year, the Triumph Tiger Explorer. This is Triumph's first entry into the big bore market. It uses a inline triple engine. It's got a new chassis, it's got a lot of nice features on it, and we're here to find out if this bike can compete with one of the best in the business. This is the bike that everybody's been talking about this year. The Triumph Tiger Explorer has come into the big bore adventure market with its guns blazing. Now, Triumph, they make no mistake about it, they're gunning for the BMW GS. And as you can see, some things are very similar. The iconic beak on the front, very similar, has a single-sided swing arm that uses shaft drive, also a trait that's been tried and true over the time. But that's pretty much where the similarities stop. The bike has a ton of features that kind of aren't standard in the adventure touring market. For instance, it has a cruise control feature. This is super nice for guys who spend a lot of time on the pavement. The instrument cluster is all new, very easy to read and scroll through. A lot of things to like about this bike, but when it comes down to the nuts and bolts of it, it hasn't been proven yet. So that's what we're here to do, and we'll see if Triumph can hang with the rest of the group in 2013.
It's not quite as comfortable to stand on as the BMW. That being said, especially on the dirt, like fast, smooth dirt roads, you sit down on that thing and feel like a pro flat tracker, because drifting is not really my forte, but that inline triple has such a smooth curve to it. I mean, you can dial it in so simple and just leave nice long arcs, and to me that's really fun because it's aggressive, but it's controllable.
I like to ride a little bit more aggressively, so the motor on the Triumph was, you were able to just spin up the tire. You knew when it was gonna break loose and you just could just keep feeding it with your hand. I mean, that bike was the most connected hand to the rear tire I have ever felt in a motorcycle. So inspiring that we are 300 miles away from anything and you have no problem sending it pretty good and sideways. It was a great bike, very confidence-inspiring suspension, and that chassis. As far as wind protection as well, I loved it. It was great. The Tiger threw the wind over the top of me enough to where the helmets we were wearing, I had sunglasses underneath, and I could wear the helmet's visor up majority of the time.
One of the things about the Triumph that isn't as good as the BMW is the ground clearance. It seems to scrape a lot easier. The skid plate is made of plastic. It's not quite as resilient as the BMW's big burly skid plate. So you can kind of notice that. And the suspension plays into that when you're going off-road. Particularly, we were riding down some roads and dropped into washes. And they weren't real big impacts, but they were enough to really get that thing to bottom out. And especially on the fork, the shock isn't too bad, but on the front end, where a lot of the weight is carried, you really feel it, and you really hear it too. It's this loud clank. So you know when you've reached the end of that in terms of its stroke. All in all, I'm pretty torn on which machine I would spend my own money on, but I guess it kind of would come down for me as to which I could get a better deal at the dealer, because they're pretty equal in my book.